The elections are now over, and Mrs. Ruth Trager won her second term as City Commissioner for Zone 1 here in Daytona Beach. So today, you're watching Daytona Beach television so that you can get to know your commissioner. Hello, Commissioner Trager. How are you today?
Hello, Reverend Durham.
It's good to have you on the program.
Well, thank you so much.
And we're in such a beautiful setting here
God.
at the Daytona Beach Golf Course. I couldn't envision a better place for you to do this interview today.
Me neither.
Well, let's get to a little bit about yourself. Why don't you tell the listeners some things they may not know about Commissioner Ruth Trager?
Well, I've lived here in Daytona Beach for 60 plus years. Most people know just about everything about me. I came here when I was about 13 from Binghamton, New York, and graduated from Sea Breeze High School with highest honors. Married Daytona Beach native, Warren Trager.
Okay.
Didn't want to go back up to the snow. We had 3 children, got 5 grandchildren. Always been kind of involved with different charities, different clubs, Girl Scouts. I was president of the Halifax Historical Society, Volusia Anthropological Society, on a number of boards. Keep Daytona Beach Beautiful. I was named Member of the Year.
All right.
And Economic Development Advisory Board. And finally, I got into the commissioner's seat.
Well, I'll tell you something. You've won your second term.
Correct.
So looking back over your first term, the first 4 years that you have been a commissioner, how would you assess, if you had to give yourself a grade, how would you assess your first term in office?
Very successful.
Okay.
One of the first things I did when I got on was the public participation was 2 minutes. I got it to 2.5 minutes. Now I know that's maybe not a big accomplishment, but it was against odds. So I was very proud of that. Somebody asked me one time to tell them something that most people don't know about me, and I thought about it, and I thought, well, they don't know that I work a lot behind the scenes. And I don't brag, and I think though some people say, well, you should tell the people what you're doing. Well, that's not me, so what can I say? But anyhow, I've been very pleased how the first 4 years has gone. We've got a lot accomplished in the city. Naturally, I'm just only one of the commission, but I found out that a lot of the people, not only in Zone 1, but other zones, will call me for help, and I don't mind helping. I mean, we're all in this city together.
Yes, yes.
And if I can help somebody, I'm glad to do it.
Well, you just mentioned the fact that you're one of several commissioners. So how do you envision yourself as Commissioner of Zone 1, capitalizing on, as you well know, there's a lot of business development, economic development going on in Daytona. How would you, Daytona Beach, I don't want to get Mr. Bud Asher to turn over, but how would you envision yourself as Commissioner of Zone 1 capitalizing on some of this great economic development that we see coming in?
Well, we're not just one zone isolated from all the other zones. Whatever happens in Daytona Beach affects us all. With all the development and the redevelopment, we're going to have a host of new people coming here. And I think that's more to the better for us.
Yes.
And also the commercial development. Now, we are headquarters, or we will be headquarters for Brown & Brown. We're headquarters for Top Build. We have a big presence from Braun. There's a number of commercial developments, commercial things that have decided to make their headquarters here in Daytona Beach. And I can see why. I mean, we have so many amenities here. We have the I-4 and the I-95. Now, this is major crossroads. And you can see all the development going out west.
Yes.
And well, we have the colleges here. We have Embry-Riddle. Now, if you've been here for a long time, you remember when all the folks from Daytona Beach went down to Miami to move Embry-Riddle back up here in the pickup trucks and the vans and everything else. And it is so gratifying to see the way it has grown. And it has grown. They have some beautiful buildings, and they are world renowned.
Oh, yes. Oh,
so, I mean, we have so many international students and national students. We also have a sports mecca here. I mean, the Speedway. Who can say that the Speedway isn't great? And we have the baseball team.
Yes, the Tortugas.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're not only sports, we're cultural too. We have Peabody. Well, that's one of the greatest ones around, and the Ocean Center. And they have put so many good programs on at Peabody that you really don't have to go too far for culture. We have the band shell and the boardwalk. And as I said last night during the commission meeting, I am a fan of the boardwalk shows. They're the tribute shows, the fireworks. I'm a kid at heart, I guess.
Well, I can say I don't think there's been too many events that I've gone to where you were not there. You do like to get around and take part in all those activities, and that's a great thing to do. We do live, as you say, in a college town. We have so much cultural things happening here in the city, so it is a great, great place, I believe, to be here in Daytona Beach. So if you had to look now at your new term, you finished 4, you have 4 years now that you've just been reelected. What do you see as your top priorities for this new term as Commissioner of Zone 1?
Well, if you had hold me down to 4 or 5, forget it.
Okay. That's why I didn't say how many. Whatever you want to tell us.
I have got lots of plans.
Okay.
I think, first of all, we have to finish that first step shelter.
Absolutely.
And as fast as possible.
And thank you for your support on that.
Well, it's vitally needed.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I'm just disappointed that it took us so long.
Yeah.
But it is needed, and I think we will be a model for the rest of the state and maybe even the country. I'd like to see some of the panhandling regulations go into effect because I see that it's also a safety issue. And not only a quality of life issue, but a safety issue. Let's see, I'm an avid advocate of beach driving and beach parking.
All right.
So definitely I'm for that.
I am too.
Great.
Yes, I am too.
I think anybody who grew up in this area.
I had to grow into it. You know, I'm from New Jersey. You didn't drive on the beach. So it was a whole new experience for me, but I'm there.
Well, I know we have a little bit more regulations than when I was growing up here.
Right.
But I'm still, and I'm delighted that we're getting this development, not only commercially, but also for the people coming here. I think everybody's getting to know it. We knew all along that this is a fantastic place to live.
Yes.
I would like to lower the millage rate because I know that we have a good segment of the population here who is on fixed salary. And I'm hoping that with all the building that's coming on, we can lower the millage rate because also it's increasing property values. Now that is going to put a lot of people in a bind. And I've been trying to lower it each year I've been in without much success, but you got to keep on trying. I'm in love with Daytona Beach, what can I tell you? We need to go after the funds for not only the homeless shelter, but also the flooding that is prone in some of the midtown areas.
Yes, and all the Nova Road area there. The
that's right. That's right. Now, they've been trying for a number of years to get it, and we have done somewhat we can do to help, but it's going to be big bucks. So we definitely need the state on board and the federal government on board. And I know we almost got there last year. So I'm thinking if we keep plugging at it, we will, because this is a major, like I said, quality of life. And people don't like to be flooded, even though it says it might be a 100-year flood. Well, a 100-year flood every 2 years is not going to work.
That's true.
Climate warming is in the news now. We are a coastal town. Climate warming, if it raises the oceans, we're going to be in trouble. I think we need to get a study on it and get a handle on it, how it's going to affect us and what we can do to be proactive about it.
Yes.
A lot of people say maybe it isn't, but in case, we have to be prepared. We have to have a plan. You can't just try to wing it all the time, you know? And no oil drilling. I've heard the talk that there's more people wanting to drill off the Atlantic coast. If that happens, it's going to be disastrous for Daytona Beach, being as we're a beach town tourist area.
Yes.
So I'm definitely against any drilling out in the Atlantic coast. Affordable housing.
Very much needed.
Now, exactly. We're going to have a lot of people coming here, a lot of workers coming here. We have to provide affordable housing for them. I would like to see a lot of the infill area. You know, you go through town, you see a lot of empty lots around. I'd like to see the infill area also. Now, that's maybe going to take a little tweaking, because a lot of these lots were maybe 40 feet wide, and now they're supposed to be 50 feet wide. We just had something come up on the agenda of general development area. They wanted to narrow the size of their lots. Well, if they can do it for them, they should be able to do it around the city. I know at one time we had the LDC, the Land Development Code, and they said you could build on the footprint of an old home. But somebody told me that went by the wayside. Now, I'm totally against that if it does, because we have a history here. We have lost so many historic homes because either they were destroyed and the city would not let them build, or they had to be torn down. But you should be able to build on the footprint, I think. Grants. We have a grant writer, that's Lemke.
We do.
And we definitely need to go after as many grants as we can in as many fields, because we need to leverage the money we got. If we can put in 30% and get 100% done, we're way ahead of it.
Sure. You definitely have a lot that you want to get accomplished in these next 4 years, and I'm sure with your determination and hard work, you're going to get a lot of those things done.
Well, I found government works a lot more slowly than I would prefer.
Yes, it does, and I found that out the last 2 years working with First Step Shelter. It does move very slow, but we're getting it done, and that's the good thing.
All the people working together, like I was at a Bike Week Task Force meeting. That used to be years ago when I was on it. Oh my goodness gracious. But now everybody seems to be on the same page. The business owners, the business people, the neighborhood, the police, the city. That is how we get things done, working together, not working at opposite ends.
That's correct.
A lot of people complain about things. Okay, fine, it's good to bring things to the forefront, but have a solution. Don't just talk on, have a solution.
Yes, I agree. Well, Commissioner, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me here today on Daytona Beach Television. And this won't be the last time. We'll do some more of this and get that information out to the community that you want to get out. And I'm excited about where we're headed in the next 4 years.
So am I.
All right.
And it's my pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you.
Thank
You've
you.
been listening to Daytona Beach Television today with my special guest, newly elected Commissioner of Zone 1. Re-elected Commissioner, and that was on your sign, re-elect. The re-elected Commissioner of Zone 1, this is Ruth Trager. We will be back here with another episode of Daytona Beach Television real soon, but we don't want you to go anywhere, because if you follow what we're doing, you're going to get a lot of good information about what this city has in store. God bless you. We'll see you next time.